Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and my owls got lost in the mail this year. If you don't know what OWLs are, they are a Harry Potter reference talking about tests. They stand for Ordinary Wizarding Levels, and they are tests or exams that characters take in the world of Harry Potter. This readathon was created by Book Roast back in, I believe, April. I will have her linked down below. I really wanted to do these, but in April there was a lot going on in my life and I wasn't really able to. Then I saw a couple other YouTubers doing these late. I asked Book Roast on Twitter if people could do them late, and it seems like quite a few people are in preparation for NEWTs in August, which is another readathon I'd really like to do. So I am hoping to get as many OWLs done as I can so I can sit for my NEWTs. I planned on going through these and picking on camera and stuff like that and being a little bit more methodical about it, but I'm putting this video already up late. I've already started one of the books because I was really excited to start it. So I wanted to get this going so I can announce that I am taking my OWLs in July, so my entire TBR will be based off of my classes that I'm taking for the OWLs exams. And on top of that, I really want to stick to my summer reading goal list. So some of the books you will have heard of before when I listed off a whole bunch of things, but in case you need a refresher, because I only had about 15 subscribers I think at that time, I will go ahead and list off some of the books I had on my reading goals list for the summer. The Immortal Instrument series in its entirety, which I have not started yet. The Illuminae files, which I finished. And then I had Summer at Castle Auburn, Pax, Ink, Price Guide to the Occult, Sky in the Deep, Little and Lion, Turtles All the Way Down, The Hate You Give, Love and Luck, Circe, Ember in the Ashes, Nevermore, and The Girl That Drank the Moon. If I'm missing any of them, then I missed them. So in order to sit for my OWLs and also do the summer readathon, I tried to incorporate as many of those as I could. I figure I will also have my NEWTs to take, and I do not want to know what the NEWTs are before. I have not watched the Book Roast video on NEWTs, so if you want to know what's happening for August, I will link her other video, the NEWTs video announcement, down below, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm hoping that it still works out and I can sit at least some of my NEWTs based off of what I read. I know that in order to sit for certain NEWTs, you have to complete these classes, so if I take divination and I do not finish the divination book, then I can not sit in my divination NEWTs. I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining this though, so make sure to check out her videos if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about, but it seems like the majority of people have already either watched the NEWTs videos or have participated in them. So getting into it, I will read off the Harry Potter letter and then I will say what classes I'm taking and what book will correlate with those classes. Dear students, I write to inform you that your OWLs examinations will commence on the 2nd of April. In my case, it was the 2nd of July, but I'm keeping with the 2nd. I'm trying to be as consistent with this as possible. The last day of examinations will be the 29th of April. In my case, July. I know that there's 31 days in July. I want to be fair and I want to make sure I'm doing it for the exact same amount, otherwise I feel like it's cheating, and I don't like cheating on tests. Please ensure you have taken adequate time until that day to complete the OWLs you need. You can find the main objectives and focus of each exams down below. For Ancient Runes, a book with a symbol on the cover. I am taking Ancient Runes, and for Ancient Runes I chose City of Bones. It is on my TBR list for summer, and I still have not started the series, and on this beautiful book there are symbols on each of the four corners, and it definitely counts because they're runes, so it works. For Arithmancy, read a book with a number on the cover or in the title. So for this one, I'm counting it because it does have a number on the cover. I've been wanting to read this book. It was not in my summer lineup, but I feel like it's short enough. It is Paper Girls Volume 1. There's my 1 on the cover, and I'm really excited to read this book, so I've added it to my summer TBR list, and I picked this up in a haul that I probably haven't uploaded yet. Astronomy, read a science fiction novel. I love astronomy. I took astronomy class in college and I absolutely adored it. It was a lot of fun. However, I just read 3 sci-fi books and I don't want to read another sci-fi right now. I plan on doing an entire Star Wars TBR sometime in the fall. I'm not feeling sci-fi right now. I'm very sci-fi'd out from reading the entire Illuminae files all last month, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over astronomy, but if you are taking astronomy, then you will need to read a science fiction novel. Next is Care of Magical Creatures. Read a book that includes a magical creature or features a magical creature character on the cover. For this one, I have Daughter of the Siren Queen. For this one, I am banking on the fact that there is a siren in this book, and sirens are definitely magical creatures that have magical abilities. My previous wrap-up, I had read Daughter of the Pirate King, and I wanted to read the sequel really badly, so this worked out. And while it wasn't in my summer TBR, I felt like the first one was a really easy read, and I'm expecting this one to be kind of similar. Charms. Read a fantasy book. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking Charms or Divination. I will not double up, so if I choose this book and I choose it for Charms, then I will be canceling out my Divination. If I decide to go with Divination, I will cancel out my Charms. I'm pretty sure I want to take Charms, though, over Divination, just because the idea of actual Charms class seems appealing to me, and I don't know exactly how NEWTs are going to go, but I think I would want to sit for Charms than I would for Divination. For my Charms class, I have Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. This is the one I already started. I am on the second chapter. It's really interesting. I will talk about it more. It wasn't until I started reading it that I realized that there was kind of a prophecy in there too. Yeah, I'll be talking about this one more later though. Defense Against the Dark Arts. Book about or featuring secret societies or clubs. I don't know the entire premise of this book. If it turns out that it doesn't have a secret society or club or like underground occult of any kind, then that's on me and I will have not sat Defense Against the Dark Arts. I'm banking on the Price Guide to the Occult to hopefully feature a circle of some kind or any sort of secret group meeting. I will take it because I really, really want to read this book. It is on my list for my summer TBR, and like I've stated before, I really just want to walk around saying I'm reading this book. For Defense Against the Dark Arts, this looks straight out of the dark arts and I'm ready for it. Divination is read a book featuring a prophecy. I've already talked about whether I'll choose Nevermore for that or not, but I don't think I will. Herbology, read a book with a nature-related word in the title. I'm not sure if I will get to this one either. It said nature specifically. It didn't say it had to be like botany. I went with maybe a fox, which has a fox on the cover and has the word fox. Foxes are definitely a part of nature, so if I do get to this one, it seems like it's really short. It's a middle grade read and the text is rather large, so I feel like if I have the time, I'm gonna get to this one. History of Magic. Read a historical fiction. I really like the idea of taking a history of magic class just because I love the actual history of magic so much, but I just don't think I'll be able to fit it into my TBR, and there were a couple other books that I really wanted to read, so I couldn't find something that quite fit, so most likely I will not be sitting for History of Magic. Next is Muggle Studies. Read a Muggle nonfiction book. I read small sections of this book for a class, but was really, really interested in reading the whole thing from start to finish because I believe that's how it was supposed to be read. So I went with Do the Gods Wear Capes by Ben Saunders. It says spirituality, fantasy, and superheroes, and that's pretty much what I read in a nutshell. And I want to see if it's as good as the small excerpts that my teacher had me read. Next is Potions. Read a book with or about alchemy. What I chose for this was a book I knew I was going to get to this summer because it has something to do with potions and a little bit of alchemy. So I went with Summer at Castle Auburn by Sharon Shin. I mentioned this book in a couple of my other videos and I finally plan on getting to it because it was a lonely June without reading my summer book. And finally, Transfiguration. Read a book dealing with transfiguration, shapeshifting, or a similar theme, or a book with a cat on the cover. So for this one I had a different book lined up, but I wasn't sure if it counted towards it. I really wanted to read Saga, but I'm not sure if there's actual shapeshifting in this book. I believe that they are just half animal, half human. I feel like that's just their species. I didn't feel like it matched it, so I just went with a book I picked up in my last haul, which is, it's a semi-definitive list of worst nightmares by Crystal Sutherland. And at the very bottom, it has a cute little cat. I freaking love the color of this book, the fact that it has a cat at the bottom, and I don't know anything about it whatsoever except for that I thought it had a really interesting title, pretty colors, and a cat. But I definitely have a priority list set as far as what I plan on reading for the OWLs, and I'm hoping I can fit the other ones into NEWTs if I complete the right classes. So I think that's actually all. This is hopefully a pretty short video. It only took me 24 minutes to film, so fingers crossed, and hopefully we can just take out all my ramblings and my ums and we'll have a solid 5 minutes of me talking about the fact that I'm taking OWLs, and I'm really excited, and it fulfills my readathon goal for my summer goals list, which was to participate in a readathon. If everything works out as planned, I'll participated in 2 by the end of the summer, so that's exciting as well. If you want to take your OWLs late, I suggest you do it. I know a lot of other people are as well, and I wish you luck on your belated OWLs or your upcoming NEWTs. But until then, I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye! I love this book. Talk about this book. I mentioned this book in a couple of my other videos, and it's upside down.